Hi, I'm Lance Corporal Elias Saker. I'm a 5711 Seaburn Marine, and I'm with 4th Assault Amphibian Battalion. We've done a lot of range days, so we went out to the range. We shot the M4s. Some of us actually pistol qualled, which is pretty cool. It's my first qual. We took a trip to Alexandria for our cultural day, and we went ahead and did some PT out here. We were able to go ahead and check the Army's tanks, which was also pretty cool. So for what I know about Delta Company, I do know that they're transitioning into boats. As far as I know, that's what we're doing. We're kind of phasing out the tracks and we're going into boats. This is my first time working with partner nations as a Marine. It's been a phenomenal experience. I get to, speak, I guess, my native language to them, so they kind of understand me. I helped, around here to help people that didn't understand the language barrier, so I was able to help them out with that. It was a nice experience talking to the military here, kind of like the differences between our military and their military. It was pretty cool working with them. And not only did we get to train with just the Egyptians, I had the opportunity to see, Cyprus. I got to Italian. So it was pretty cool, pretty diverse group of military out here. So originally, my parents are from Lebanon. I was born in San Diego. I just lived there for 1 year though, and the rest of my life was in the Middle East. So Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, all over the Middle East. And then the last 7 years of my life, before I moved here in 2018, was in Lebanon. So I spent 7 years there, and my entire life I learned English, Arabic, and French. So I'm trilingual. It kind of felt like I was back home, honestly, because in my household back in the States, I speak with my parents in Arabic, and we speak French. I'm going to throw some French in there as well. So it kind of felt like I was kind of back home in a sense. Speaking to them in Arabic was pretty cool, and it kind of shocked them at first that the Egyptians seeing an American in the uniform, and then I get to speak their language. Kind of shocked them, which was pretty cool experience to see their faces. I learned, well, I pistol qualled, so I learned how to shoot the pistol out here. And I also learned something kind of on the cultural side of, I've always wanted to come to Egypt. I always wanted to see the pyramids and that stuff. So coming out to Bright Star gave us that opportunity. And plus I also was able to learn the Egyptian dialect. So I kind of picked up on some words because the Lebanese dialect and the Egyptian dialect are not similar, but they're still very different. And learning some words that they use that we don't, and I kind of picked up on some of that. So I'm kind of learning on that too. So that was pretty cool. Honestly, one of the challenges I've experienced out here is dealing with the heat. Being from Florida, it is hot out there, but it's also humid. But out here, the dry heat, it does affect us. So I tend to drink a lot of water out here, and keeping myself hydrated, and letting my Marines know that I've lived in countries where it's dry heat, and you don't want to go down in this heat. So stay hydrated, and but that's one of the biggest challenges that I have seen out here for Marines and myself, is dealing with the heat and being out in the sun and full kit or out on the range. But I've overcome that. So actually, when we went to Alexandria, we had the opportunity to go visit some cool monuments out there and some history, and we got to drive by the Great Library of Alexandria, I believe it was, and it was a pretty cool sight. It was big, it was huge, and something I've never seen before. And we actually went out to lunch at a cool restaurant on the water, which we got to try some authentic Egyptian food, which was phenomenal. I think anybody here that had the opportunity would tell you the same thing. It was beautiful, and I really enjoyed it. So working with the Egyptians was a little bit difficult at first, because I was kind of picking up on their dialect. So I had a hard time understanding them at first, and to be able to get them to understand me, I had to kind of go slow in my Arabic at first, until I started picking up their dialect, and then they started understanding me more and more. But working with them, they're great people. I really enjoyed working with them, whether it's on the civilian side or dealing with their military. It was a great experience, and they're very respectable people. So my MOS is a 5711 Seaburn, so that's chemical, radiological, biological, and nuclear defense specialist. And basically, I tend to deal with our unit's gas chambers. So I tend to make sure our Marines are up to date on their yearly qualifications, on their Seaburn training. So the gas chamber, make sure their proper PPEs, everything, the gas mask, mop suits, and all that stuff, and make sure they qual when the qual is time for. So I currently go to school, University of South Florida. I'm studying civil engineering. I got 2 years left. And as a job on the civilian side, I'm a real estate investor. So I invest money into real estate properties, flip the house, and sell it for a profit, basically. Being, Marines, very disciplined on time and time crunches, so it made me very organized in my time studying because I have to manage my civilian job, school, and, drill weekends. So managing my time is a big thing for me, and organization of my things, my schoolwork, my work. Really, the Marine Corps, I think, brought that upon me and taught me how to organize my things and be very set in stone, if that makes sense. So the reserves have done, the opportunity to go overseas. This is my first time OCONUS for an AT. So get to go overseas and train. It might sound weird, but before joining the Marine Corps, I've never shot a rifle before, so I'll get to do that. Oh, I joined the Marine Corps Reserves because I've actually always wanted to be a Marine. Coming from overseas, coming from a country, kind of like a third world country, I really always, watch the news. I've always seen cartoons and stuff like that, and I've always seen military. And I've always loved the United States. It's always been a dream of mine to join the Marines. And the reason I did reserves was because I wanted the opportunity to go to school. Not only go to school because I know active duty does that, but I've also wanted to be a real estate investor, and I feel like it would be a little bit hard to do real estate if I were overseas. So that's another reason, because I did the reserves, I wanted to do real estate at the same time, and I feel like it would be a little bit harder active duty. Plus, I always like to stay close to my family and the ones that are around me. So I know Marine Corps is my own family, but I do have also a family at home, so I'd love to stay at home and stay with my family as well, be nearby. Being a reservist doesn't take up too much of my time, honestly, because I do enjoy going to the gym on my own, so I am always, physically there. It doesn't interfere with my schoolwork because it happens to fall on a weekend. It doesn't interfere with real estate either because, I work, Monday through Friday or on my own time, really. So the Marine Corps Reserves is kind of just like a accessory, so to say, to my schedule. So it's just there as another job, like a weekend job, if that makes sense. So I do enjoy it, and it does not interfere with my schedule.